going to find a way to game the system no matter what.
Yep.
But then that system becomes like too difficult to engage with for the normal person.
Rover 6. Going dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Going Dark episode 4. We just keep climbing. First thing I got to say, the 0.5 episode, the 3.5 episode is the comments, Chop, were side mission. They like side mission.
Side mission's cool. I think that's a cool one.
So
I say we roll with that.
I think we're going to roll with that. If you have any objections, put them in the comments. But a lot of people said they loved it, so that's what we're going to do. But today's episode is pretty simple. We know how to fix Call of Duty. We have figured out the solution, and that is, it's simple. We are each going to go over 5 things that we think should come back to Call of Duty, features that maybe have been removed or watered down maybe, and bringing them back will save this franchise
for sure. Like
for sure,
completely.
100%.
Us sitting in our armchairs in our rooms, we know how to save $1 billion franchise.
Yes,
leave it up to us. We got this. But the other thing to mention is that we have features that we each respectively wrote down. We have not shared our lists with each other, so we are going to be figuring this out on the spot, and then maybe if the things that we mentioned coincide, I think that'll be an interesting talk. But I have my features written down, and I'm not sure if they are going to correlate, because I have a couple different ones here. But
I was going to say, I feel like yours are going to be different than mine. I don't know why. I just got that feeling.
I think it completely depends on what you're approaching it from, because you could be like, oh, there's 5 features. You could even say a gun, a certain weapon was a feature you want back.
True.
I want the AN-94 from BO2 back. But that's not on my list. But you could frame it that way. And I think it just completely depends on how we were looking at it. But I put some thought into mine, and I have a lot to say about each one, as I'm sure you do too. Also, if you guys want to let us know what features you want Call of Duty to bring back, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts too. But yeah, should I
would say so also real quick, mine aren't in order of level of what I want them. I wrote 5 down. They're not this is the number 1. This is just, I got 5 things and they're random.
Yeah, same here. Same.
Okay.
So this is in no particular order.
Yes.
I actually wrote it down on a physical notepad.
Wow. I got mine in my phone, but
we're really out
enough, I guess.
Stuff.
All right, start us off.
I'm gonna start with my most basic one, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the Pick 10 system for multiplayer.
Was
that one of yours?
I got Pick 10 system on mine.
Okay. That's the only one I think is actually gonna coincide, but that's fine, because I actually want to know what it is about the Pick 10 system for you that you like and want back.
So I wrote down Pick 10 system, but I wasn't I'm not exactly what was the other game that had it was Pick 12 or something like that? Was there another game that had
Yeah, Advanced Warfare had Pick 13.
13. So I'm the pick system in general I like. My main reason is when I play Modern Warfare 3, the gunsmith is just too much. It is too much. And then not only that, when you click on an attachment, there's 75 million attachments for the barrel or for the whatever, the underbarrel. I'm and everybody uses hand stop. It's you have 100 things and nobody even uses half of them. So what I loved about Black Ops 2 was I remember equipping the MSMC, going to foregrip, sleight of hand. It was 2 attachments. If you wanted to get wild, you could add that third one. But there was not this sense of you had to build this superpower gun. I don't even know if that's the right words, but it just got, it's clunky. It's too clunky. It goes back to the menu. It's just so clunky. There's too much. And it's Pick 10 made everything simple, I feel like.
It's almost this analysis paralysis when you have billions of attachments. And there's a couple things to point out there. As far as the picking system goes, I think that's more important than the number of it, Pick 10 or Pick 13. The thing I will say about Pick 13 was kind of weird is that if you remember, kill streaks were actually a part of that.
Mhm.
So you could, and that was strange to me because you could sacrifice kill streaks to like have more perks. But like I felt that kind of hurt the point of Call of Duty's like gameplay loop. I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of that. I don't think that was the right choice, but that's just me. Not the worst thing in the world, but the other thing with Gunsmith is that I truly do think that was the right call for Modern Warfare 2019, but I don't think that should have been the gold standard going forward. I don't know how we got to that point. And also this was my opinion from the beginning. So when MW19 came out, I was really big into PUBG. Like I played that religiously for years. And the thing with PUBG is that the gunplay is a lot more complicated than like Call of Duty gunplay. It just is. And the attachment system in PUBG makes more sense for a game like or the gunsmith system makes more sense for a game like PUBG, where like you have all of these little minuscule changes to your handling, your range, etc. Like in Pick 10 works something a lot better for like arena multiplayer, which Call of Duty is. And I was like, okay, sure, they're doing this like kind of cool realism thing in Modern Warfare, but I really don't think that needed to be what we have going forward. That did not need to be in Cold War. I don't think that even needed to be in MW2, but that to me is the problem, where it's like you have hundreds of attachments, but basically only one or two are ever getting used out of each respective category, and they make very, very, very minuscule differences to your weapon compared to something like a big, meaningful attachment from a Pick 10 system.
Well, my question is to you, what made Call of Duty great? And I'm kind of answering it as I ask you, but what made it great was you hopped on, you could pop into a game, you make a quick class, you unlock a couple things, and you keep rolling. Like,
yeah, very straightforward.
It's very straightforward. There's simplicity everywhere. And now it seems like they've just over complicated. They've done
no
too
real
much.
Reason either. Yeah.
No real reason. And I, like you said, I do agree with you. Modern Warfare 19 Gunsmith was good because there wasn't a ton of stuff going on. And then they went, hey guys, we're going to do Pick 10 with the Vanguard weapons. And I'm like, oh no, they're not getting it. Like they're not getting it. They're doubling. So I just think a quick example I have is my brother-in-law. He plays Call of Duty once every few weeks. He hops on, he gets incredibly overwhelmed, and he gets off and plays something else. He says literally to me, I like playing Fortnite because I know the guns, I know the levels of the guns by the color. There's not anything different. Like you don't have a MP5 unlocked all the attachments, and I have an MP5 ground loot. Like it's equal, which I know it's a battle royale. It's a little bit of a bad example, but it's like,
sure, but I get your point.
You didn't even want a Black Ops 2 where you had to rank stuff up. It wasn't like a crazy gap, I feel like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you could still like you could use like a vanilla MP7 in BO2, and you could still compete with a fully attached out MP7. You would be at a disadvantage for sure, but it could still be done. Yeah. And also the pathway to like making your gun stronger or getting on that level was very straightforward. I just need to unlock X and Y attachments, and then bam.
I miss that so much.
Dude, me too. And it's also that like it's basically Pick 10, but like taken apart. It's like if you had a sandwich and just like broke it down to its constituents and ate that. It's like the effect of like one foregrip in BO2 is now the effect of like 6 attachments in like modern Gunsmith. You get the same effect, but you have to do it in like 6 different parts now. And then like I remember attachment tuning in Modern Warfare 2, Sledgehammer just said we're not doing that. I think that's so funny because like that was their big innovation.
Yeah.
And then MW3 they're just like, no, we're not doing that. I know they wanted to do Pick 10 for that game, and that's probably a result of that. But like I don't know. I think the Gunsmith is a little bit expired at this point.
Yeah. It's done. I think it was a good try. Modern Warfare did it right, or the best they could do. But yeah, I actually, if the editor can do this, I would like to quickly scroll through all the attachments, have this appear on the screen. I'm telling you, I was playing Modern Warfare 3 last night, making a class for something, the Rival 9 in multiplayer. I was lost. I literally got lost. I said, where am I? Am I making a class, or am I doing some sort of science project for a college degree? So, it's not good when you have a filter system on your attachments that says like 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 6 time, 8 time, and you click those to try to get the scope that you want. I'm like,
Yeah.
it just, I don't know.
I just think it's so, and then they give you all of these like hard number stats, which again is useful, I suppose. But number one, they're not always accurate from what I understand. And also it's just like way too much detail for a game that isn't that serious. And I don't mean like Call of Duty isn't serious. I mean like the like the gunfights you're going to have are going to take place like within 100 meters max. And like a lot of these stats just really don't matter.
Especially in multiplayer, man. I feel like I play that game and I'm like, I can use the BP-50, I can use the Holger, I can use the, like, it's not like this crazy, there's overpowered guns, but I feel like the majority of them, they're all killing in 4 to 5 bullets. It's not like they're
marginally different.
I just feel like it's the person who's using the attachments, the gun itself. It's not really, everything kind of seems level in multiplayer now too. That's another thing I've noticed.
And that's the whole point of Pick 10 is like you can make guns with clear strengths and trade-offs. That's the big thing, is like you can make different classes that have one really specific like niche case, and then but it will be really weak in this other area. And I think that was fun. That encouraged you to make different classes. And I would definitely advocate to have that back, or a pick, X whatever system.
Pick something.
Of any kind.
Pick anything. Pick anything but the gunsmith. How about that? That's what we'll call it.
For sure. Absolutely. Well, that I think is going to be the only one that correlates with one of yours. I'll go ahead and let you go off your next one then.
How funny is it that we said there's no way we have any of the similar ones, and legitimately
Pick
the
10.
first one, I feel like we might, now I'm starting to think we might have more. But I'm actually going to pick this one. I just think this is something that they did back in the day that would encourage me to open my credit card a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. They want to make money. Bring back
a microtransaction boy.
Bring back universal camos. If I buy a camo on a gun, it should be able to go on every gun. Okay.
I don't have that on my list.
Okay, good. So back in the day, Black Ops 2, it started this process. I believe it was Black Ops 2. And I remember getting weaponized 115, one of the greatest camos of all time, if not the greatest camo of all time.
That and Afterlife, baby.
And I just remember attaching it on the AN-94, on the MSMC, on the PDW, on the sniper. And it was just like, wow, it's only $199 for this, and I get to put it everywhere. Like, I'm in. Like, I'll buy more, and I ended up buying more because of it. And today, I can't tell you the last time I bought some in the store, because you get a blueprint of a Rival 9, and you don't get to keep that camo. Like, I want the camo on everything.
It seems like the other problem too with that system is that there will be, like, theoretically for me anyways, a cool blueprint of a weapon, but it's for a gun that I'm just not going to use.
Yes.
And it's like, and also I get they've maybe altered this a little bit, but I know for a long time the problem was you could get a blueprint of, like, cosmetically a really sick looking weapon, but the attachments would be like horrendous on it. And if you change the attachments of the weapon, it would completely alter the look.
It doesn't even look the same.
It's like you can have the look, you can have the drip, or you can have an effective weapon. It's like you couldn't really have both, at least for a while. I'm sure think it changed that a little bit.
It still does it. It's like, it's not as drastic, but I just literally did this the other day. I was playing, and I was using the Holger because it got a buff and it was in ranked play, and I have like this gold version, and I took off the attachments to make it ranked play ready, and it loses gold on like the underbarrel and on the stock, and it's like the gold is just the middle meat of the gun, and I'm like,
you're like, what's the point now?
Okay. Now it looks bad. Now it's like, all right, let's put a camo on it because it's so
cover it up.
I just, if Call of Duty's in the business of making money, they would make even more. I know it's like you think, okay, wait, we might not make more because we're gonna sell something that's gonna go on multiple guns, so they're not gonna want to buy more because they're gonna have it on multiple. No, I'm telling you, I feel like it's the opposite. It's like, oh, I can get it on every gun. I'm gonna buy 5 of these. And last time I checked, 5 times blank is more than one purchase every.
I would love to see them do a store where a camo is $199 again.
Oh.
In this economy, I don't know
But
about
wouldn't that actually kind of like, I know it seems crazy because you're like, oh man, they would never charge $199. They're going to feel like they get ripped off. But then how many people would buy? When's the last time you bought something in the store?
Long time, man. I don't know if I bought anything in MW3.
I haven't.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
No. So it's like,
nope. Yeah.
They're making zero off us. Would you buy a camo if it was $199?
Dude, but that's the thing is like, exactly. If they had like very, very cheap camos, I would probably just wail out on them just because they're cool.
Exactly.
Like, and it's easy to do.
Yes.
Depend what they look like, obviously. But like, I would be significantly more inclined to purchase universal camos than blueprints. But I would love to see like their back end numbers for if they make more money off of extremely overpriced bundles and having like a few whales buy all of them, or if they had much cheaper universal camos and tried to appeal to like the broader audience. I don't know.
Which isn't their goal? Aren't they trying to go to the broader audience? Like they always preach they're doing the broader audience, but then they like don't do that with the gunsmith. It's too complicated. The bundles that cost $30 and not the greatest economy, and then it's like, who are you appealing to? So
it's also worth mentioning that they had that system when like the DLC model was still around. So I don't know if that would have to be a trade-off.
Yeah.
Or like if they would have to start charging for expansions again. I don't know, but I would love actual universal camos that are good. I'm with you on that.
The universal camos back. It'll save Call of Duty. Quote that in a video.
That's a good one.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here's an interesting one.
Okay.
I'm going to say unique main menus. I
love
am
that.
sick and tired of having the just like the I don't even know. The Warzone menu isn't what I'm going to call it. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but I'm like, can y'all make a menu like BO1 again?
I thought you were going to say BO3.
BO3 actually has a good menu for a different reason that I'll get to. But dude, Black Ops 1 is one of the best main menus ever made.
Yeah.
And I think it was just that era. Halo 3 has one of the best main menus ever made. But I just really would love to see a game do something different where they can still have all of the components of their game within the menu, their Warzone campaign, like whatever they're doing, but add some style to it, man.
Yeah.
Have something that makes me like interested in it. Some of the best stuff in BO1 is like in the terminal that you can access. That is, behind you when you break out of the chair. That's so cool. You could spend hours just like going through that computer. You could do some crazy stuff with that.
Yeah.
That was like an extra labor of love that they did not have to do. And it's little things like that where you are like, damn, they put some passion into this one.
Yep.
Instead of just like cookie cutter, this is the menu, this is the UI, have at it.
Well, the menu sucks right now. So we can get that out of the way. But I like the idea of, I actually don't mind, or I didn't mind the menu in Modern Warfare 19 and Cold War. Not, I guess the menu, yes, but like the guy walking, I actually kind of like that. But it would be cool if, like you said, it had some uniqueness where like, if we're playing multiplayer, they're walking. And then if we're playing Warzone, they're like sitting on the helicopter. Like chilling on the helicopter. And then like the campaign, they're like in the training facility. So it's like you have like these 3 different, because that's what I loved about Black Ops 3 was the menu was based on where you were in the game.
Yeah.
Like zombies, it was the dude sitting by the fire, and then multiplayer was your like specialist, and the specialist would change too. Think about that. Like your specialist was the one showing, the whole menu would change. So I actually don't even remember what the campaign was. I guess it was probably
the campaign was like in the safe house.
Okay.
And
so but
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Be like sitting on like a bench, but it was different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like the uniqueness of like, I'm loading into a new game mode. Let me feel like I'm loading into a new game mode.
Yeah. And I get that's the whole thing that they wanted to make the whole game feel like one experience, and they've tried to maybe do away with that. Is like, it seems they're trying to capture that, where in MW3 at least, like multiplayer has a different background. Zombies does too, but also they don't feel different enough.
No.
And it's not like the entire menu changes like it would in BO3. It's more just like swapping out a background. And that's fine. It's appreciated, but I would really appreciate more unique menus, and I think that comes with a more unique UI overall.
Yeah.
Because also feel like that is a little bit of the stuff that sticks in your memory too. I can just like picture the BO1 menu in my head.
I love the
can't
BO1
really
menu.
picture. I can't really picture like the Cold War menu as well in my head or the Vanguard menu. They kind of just blend together.
Yeah, because they all did the walking thing. They all did the
Yeah.
same. They were simpler though. The menus were simpler though. I will give them
Sure.
that. They kept the fine match but it was still the same character walking. But I remember Cold Wars because I liked how vibrant it was because it was based around the season of the actual. I think Modern Warfare 19
That's
did
true.
this
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
that's
I thought that was kind of cool, but yeah, I agree. I mean, BO1 blows. It doesn't matter what I think about those. BO1 blows it out of the water.
That is like the main menu to aspire to be. It's so good.
Little secrets, DOA. What was it? DOA and 3 Arc.
Yeah. Like, dude, you could play like Zork on that computer.
Yeah. Yep.
Like a whole like text-based adventure game.
Yep.
Man, you could like, bro, we could make a whole video about that.
Easter eggs.
But
the best Call of Duty
so
Easter
good.
eggs. That might be a little middle that a 0.5 a side mission. I got to keep thinking side mission, guys.
That's gotta be a side mission. Yeah,
That's
I
a
love
side
that.
mission.
But yeah, that was one of my just, bro. Give me a unique menu. I'm sick and tired of the just like cookie cutter phone and get in menu that we have now. I just want something different.
I gotta jot this down. So yours was pick 10.
I had pick 10 and unique main menu.
And unique main menu. And
Those are my two
then
so far. They get more complex from here on out.
okay.
But yeah, so that was my second one. I'll let you go ahead.
Mine stay relatively basic, I guess. I feel like I might be thinking too basic now. I might have went too, but I feel the ones I like, there's a reason why I like them because of what it made the game fun for me. So I'm like, I'm sticking with the camo, and I'm actually going back to the camo grind.
Interesting.
I miss camo grinding when it was only headshots. The camo grind now, I have to read a novel. I got to go over and get an instruction manual. I got to go over and do this. And it encourages play styles that I cannot stand. Mount with an LMG, looking down shoot house to get your camos. No, please. What I loved about the original one was it was headshots. It was only headshots. I knew it was headshots. And it actually encouraged you to get better because you're like, okay, I got to aim for the head. You can still mount and stuff like that if you wanted to,
Sure.
but I just remember running around, shooting for the headshots, and just knowing that was my only goal. I don't even mess with the camo grind anymore because I think the last camo grind was what? Lay down, stun an enemy. I don't know how long it's been like this because I'm talking camo grind from legitimately COD 4 and MW2. So like, if anybody's like, bro, this has been different since like 2015. I'm sorry, I haven't camo grinded in a while. But
yeah. Okay. So my question is, I'm not really a camo grinder. That just doesn't like. I would get like diamond camo on BO2 or something.
Yeah.
But like once it started getting into like dark matter and then like all of this crazy stuff like post Modern Warfare, that it just never really appealed to me. So I guess my question is, do you think it's something where it's like it feels a lot less rewarding or organic like it used to in the day, where it's just like, this seems like a reasonable goal that you can get if you put in enough time and it's not like too demanding or whatever? I don't know if that's the right term, but it just feels, when I look at the camo grind from an outside perspective, it's like they had like engineers write down like mathematically the longest time they can string you along to get these camos and keep you on the game for as long as possible.
yeah,
Like it feels very like calculated, and I don't like that. It's not just get 100 headshots with this weapon because that's fun. It's like we're gonna scientifically figure out the maximum amount of time that people can spend on this game.
and the most
grinding
annoying thing to do, like I remember one of them from MW2 or MW3 was literally like flash a person and get the kill, do it 3 times in the same game. I'm like, I know that's not like
No.
crazy, but it's like, come on, man. Like, I don't want to, I just want to walk.
It just
I
feels
want
like
to,
a chore.
yeah, I want to run around with my MP7. I want to get headshots and like, and then move on to the next gun. Like, I just, it's going back to the overcomplication of things for honestly no reason at all. Just
other than just to like artificially stretch out time that people are on the game.
Yeah, and people still get the camo grind in a month. You know, my buddy texted me, he's like, you know, back when MW3 came out, he's like, hey, I got Interstellar already, and it's 1 month in. I don't know what to do with multiplayer anymore. I'm like, I kind of like, you're still like, people still are gonna grind it just as fast. Like, I know your goal may be keep people on the game longer, but
People are going to find a way to game.
People are going to find a way to do it quick and get it done fast, and then they'll be off the game.
And those are like the ultra tryhards, and the problem is you make it like almost impossible for like the casual player to go and do it. Like you have the hardcore dedicated camo grinders that are going to find a way to game the system no matter what.
Yep.
But then that system becomes like too difficult to engage with for the normal person.
I don't consider myself a casual, and it's too complicated for me. I'm just like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't like the camos that much to get them.
Yeah.
I'll just rock my breach skin that I got sent to me, and that'll be the camo I use on all my guns. So
For sure.
I don't know. I know that's something kind of random, but it feels like I would love to hop on multiplayer and camo grind like I did back in COD 4 and all that, and it be this very chill experience where you're listening to music and you're not thinking. You're just like. That's what I love about multiplayer. You can just
play if you want to.
Yeah.
Like you're not going out of your way to like conform to a certain like play style.
Yes.
Maybe you did a little bit back in the day with like certain ones, but not very much. You could still more or less play like how you always do.
You just have to aim better.
Yeah, just get better. Like
get good, kid. That was like my sneaky one that I'm like, you know what? I actually really do like this one. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So my other one that I have, and this is okay. I'll get to my big one later, but this is a fun one for me that I miss, and I'll talk about why. But I want to see Emblem Editor return.
I almost put that one, but I knew as a zombies guy, I felt like you were gonna say that. I don't know why. I did not write it down.
I would love Emblem Editor to return, and I was like taking a walk thinking about like what I wanted to put on this list, and I was like, dude, it reminded me of what you said, I think in our last episode, where you were talking about like the whole trick shotting community and how that's like more or less been snuffed out.
Yeah.
The Emblem editing community was a thing for a very, very long time. Like, and that's just gone now. And I totally understand the argument that like people can abuse it and stuff for sure. That's not cool. But like the creativity and like personality that alone brought to the game was like indispensable.
Yep.
I don't think you could get rid of that and not see some kind of negative effect to your game. It was amazing when we got it in BO1, and that was one of the things that birthed a whole new community to the game. And after BO4 it got removed. I don't know, that made me sad personally. I think there's a lot of good that the Emblem editor did bring, even though like again people can misuse it for sure, but like I don't know, I thought it was a great feature. I'd love to see it come back in some capacity.
I think that's a great one, honestly. I didn't even think about it from the point you just made of there was a community there. Like I remember the first Emblem that I watched a YouTube video and copied, and it was like a how to do, and it was the Ghostbusters in Black Ops 1, and it was like the video had so many views. There was probably YouTubers solely based around emblems that I had I'm not even thinking about back in the day. But yeah, like I can't even.
It was a whole community of artists that just made like emblem art in COD, and then like it was pretty simple in BO1. I think you had 32 layers, and then in BO2 they gave you even more. They doubled it, and we were like, we can just create great art out of that. And then they what was beautiful is they expanded it each and every time. BO1 introduction of it.
Yep.
It was like 32 layers, I believe. You could still make good stuff, but it was a little limited. BO2, you could you had 64 layers, and you could make even more complex art. BO3 continues what BO2 did, and then also gives you the ability to create gun skins Like you like, bro, that was crazy. I still have like weapon art on my guns in BO3 that I use to this day. It's so good.
I was gonna bring that point up because I remember Black
And you
Ops
can
3.
combine it with
I
camos
know.
to make something really special. Like that's so cool.
I don't understand what I obviously with the BO3 one, I'm assuming their removal of that was we need to sell more camos is my first impression. But I just, I'm even thinking from a perspective of like, with all the esports and all that stuff and what if somebody had like a community that they built off of designing these camos or whatever you want to call them, weapon blueprints back in the day, and like emblems, and then like an org sees them and like picks them up as like an artist, because like crazier things have happened, and it's like that would be, they can make money on YouTube, they can make money on getting an opportunity like that. I don't know, it's just something I didn't even really think about until you literally made that point.
It's just a whole community that just got completely cut out of the whole game just with one change. Like I liked what Infinite Warfare did, where and you could make the argument that the reason they removed Emblem Editor, besides people misusing it, is that they wanted to sell more like bundles or microtransactions or whatever. You could do what Infinite Warfare did, which is they had like pre-packaged emblems, but they also had an emblem editor. They had both.
Yeah.
It's like we could just have that again, and that would bring back, I think, a lot of that side of the community that's been neglected for a long time. That is a big one to me. I love being able to make custom like weapon skins or whatever they were called, and then combine that with camos and see how that would look. I would pay for camos if it would make the gun skin that I made look better.
Yeah,
like flat out.
I'm telling you, I want to spend money on Call of Duty. I'm a freak. Like I want to do that, but
you got to give me a reason to.
You got to give me a reason to. I do not care about half these bundles. Man. I'm sorry. I'm it's a first person shooter. Like I want my gun to be a crazy, like I'd be down with some COD Mobile, blueprints. Like I love that crazy, the Godzilla type, I'm okay with that. I know it's not a realistic thing, but
I just want to be able to like individually design it myself, or like do things that like will make my gun like incredibly unique. Not just, someone else has the same blueprint, my gun is going to be the same. Like I want to be able to put my own thought into my own weapon.
I'm really surprised that they got rid of that. I mean, I know, like you said, I know there's people abuse the stuff, but like, I feel like you can make that argument about anything,
You can make that argument about literally anything.
Anything in the world, people are going to do something weird with it or wrong with it, but like, it shouldn't. They got to have some sort of system that they could like block certain, just like they do with like the clan tags, and now they're recording our voice, so it's like I can get banned for just telling somebody that they suck at the game. So
yeah,
I mean, I think you can do something about the emblems if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think there would be a solution. If they would implement it or not is a different story. But yeah, that was a fun one for me as Emblem Editor. I would please just bring it back. Like it helps you grow an attachment to your weapon, man. I think about my M8A7 in BO3, and it's my sexiest looking gun, and I'm like, I just want that again. I have not felt attached to a gun in Call of Duty in a long time, and I think that's the reason why.
When's the last gun you felt attached to?
Probably on a real note, probably my M8A7 in BO3.
Wow. So you're coming up on 10 years.
Yeah.
I would say probably for me, MP5, Modern Warfare 19.
That's a good one.
I think that one just felt so good. And then I had some sort of lava camo on it or something. And it just hit. But all right, am I next? I'm next, right?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, I'm saving my big boy one for the end because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you might have this one, but let's go back to the other one. My fourth one I have is lobby leaderboards.
Interesting.
I loved lobby leaderboards. As I said, some of mine aren't like these crazy things. They're very, I think they're kind of basic, but it's kind of what made the game for me unique in the multiplayer side of things. So what I remember about lobby leaderboards is like me and my buddy back in the day when you would split screen, we would split screen and we would get into a lobby and we would look at who the competition was. And we would be like, okay, like XX Superhuman XX he's got a 5 KD. Oh, they put us against him. All right, let's suit up. Like, let's get after it. Or the other way around, where you get a lobby and you see a bunch of bots and you're like, oh yeah, let's have some fun, baby. We're going to have a blast. Bring out the whatever and let's go have some fun. So I think it's just that same, people think that multiplayer is this just constant loop, but it's a constant loop now because of skill-based matchmaking, not knowing your opponent. Everybody's the same skill level. But back then, you'd have randomized lobbies. You'd have a lobby leaderboard where you could see, when's the last time you've been able to see the stats of the enemy before you load into a game? I don't know the last game that did it.
Probably Infinite Warfare.
Okay, so you're talking, what's that, 16? 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, man. I just felt like that always, the competitive side of me, it like, I always want to win. But then, like, I also knew it kind of like with basketball, you know, you walk into a basketball game and you look at the guy on the other team and during warmups and you're like, okay, like he's made
like
5 shots.
Competition.
Yep. You got 5 shots in a row. He made 5 shots. He dunking in warmups. I got him, but let me guard him. And then it's like, you just knew you were going to have a good matchup. And I just remember playing with my friend and it would be like us 2 up top over here. And then like the 2 people that were in the lobby that were good over there. And it was like 75-70. But then you'd always get those games where it was like 75-30. Like, but that's what made multiplayer so fun for me. It was, you could try your butt off one game, and then the next game you could prop your feet up because you could see who you're going against.
Yeah. The personal element of Call of Duty multiplayer has just been stripped away. As a result of the lobby thing that you just said, also Emblem Editor, I think, and being able to really interact with people in the lobby. I'm not just talking like voice chat. I mean like all these little things of that make interaction happen.
Yeah.
Those have been largely removed for what purposes, I don't really know. But yeah, that to me, that's what makes multiplayer feel lacking. It's like I may as well be playing with bots at this point because I don't know who I'm playing against.
Yeah.
There's no sense of like competition or rivalry or camaraderie at all. Not at all, but heavily diminished from what it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that could restore it, I think, is for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It was a simple one, but I just, again, sometimes simple things get removed from these Call of Duty games and you're like, why did they get rid of that? Yeah. You know, what happened? And then you realize those little small things add up and then they become like this one big thing that makes it Call of Duty. And I feel like those little small things have kind of been slowly stripped away. And we're just like
100% agree.
You know, what happened to the game I love, or what that
the game? What did they do to my boy?
Yeah,
exactly. And actually, that's a good segue because, like, speaking of little things that add up, I'm actually going to save my other one for the end because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling it might be the same one. We'll see.
Feel like I think we're thinking the same thing here for some reason.
Well, me too. But the other one that I have is I want this is like zombie specific.
Okay.
But I want a skill ranking back in zombies.
A skill ranking back in zombies. Okay.
So we had it in BO2, and I'm sure you'll remember this. Like, you had a little icon next to your name. You had like the 1 bone, the 2 bone, skull, knife, or shotguns. And if you played consecutively, the eyes on the skull would glow.
I do remember that.
It was so cool. And that's how like people knew that you're a real gamer. But the point is, in BO3, they changed to a system that was just based on overall XP. It's basically like how. Actually, it's exactly how the multiplayer leveling system was designed. And it was just more like time-based. You know, you could be a prestige master and still not be the best player if you just, you know, farmed XP for hours and hours. But with BO2, and I'm not saying the BO2 system was perfect, because the way that you rank up was very obscure and heavily flawed. But at least it was some kind of indicator on how good you were at the game. You could play a really, really long time and still be like a 1 or 2 bone rank, or just like the normal skull. I think most people were just like the 1 skull rank. But you would load up into a lobby and see somebody with like the knife rank, or you would see somebody with the shotguns and knew that they were like about it,
Yeah.
like that they were real gamers. And so I've always suggested that zombies could have a hybrid where it's like you have your seasonal rank, which is just like your XP kind of rank, and then a skill rating as well, represented by some kind of icon like BO2 did. You could have it both ways, I think, and I don't think that would be a big deal. And for me, that was when BO2 came out. That was the thing. That was my first goal.
Yeah.
Was like I played the hell out of Grief Town because I wanted to get shotgun rank, and I got it like I think within like a week. And having shotguns in a public match made you a god. Everyone wanted to play with you, and
Yeah.
that just like that felt cool. That made me want to play more. And to maintain like the glowing eyes on my shotgun rank that I did have, like that was so fun. And going to an XP based system just doesn't really mean anything anymore. So I would like a hybrid system where we have an XP one and a skill rating.
So can you educate me on how like you, because I mean, I played a lot of BO2 zombies, but I definitely was a low rank. Like I didn't even, was there like challenge? I mean, this may be a stupid question, but like how did you get to the next level?
Yeah, so it's not a dumb question at all. And you know what, to be honest, most people don't even really know how it completely works, myself included. The only thing that we really know that helps you rank up is surviving rounds. So in a way, it's kind of like the XP based system, but also not really.
Yeah.
But if you were to survive many rounds, or also getting a lot of revives, that's why I got the shotgun rank really quickly, because I played a lot of grief mode and I would be reviving teammates constantly, and that would help you as well. But it was mostly rounds survived. And so if you were like a high rounder, you would get that rank very quickly. You could also lose that rank if you were playing poorly, which is interesting because you actually had to like fight to keep it up.
Yeah.
If you were like a shotgun rank and you had a bad game, it may have demoted you to the knife rank again.
Kind of like a Halo 3 vibe.
Exactly like Halo 3. Exactly.
Still one of the best rank up.
One of the best rank up systems
never
ever
been copied for some reason. Wildest thing in the world to me. But
oh my god, I could go on for the hours about the Halo ranking system, but it's exactly like that in a way. And dude, that was such a charming element of BO2 that made me want to play so much. I love that, and I just think that there's room to have both of those systems. I don't know why. I don't think there would ever be a conflict there. That's something I would love as a zombie player.
Yeah.
Will we ever get it again? Realistically, probably not. Realistically, no. But if I were making Call of Duty, if I were behind
if you wanted to save Call of Duty like we're doing right now,
you want to save Call of Duty Zombies, I got you. Yeah, but that was a big one for me.
You know, it'd be cool too. Is like the first thing I thought about when you said that was like the ranking thing was like if you went into other modes, and it may have done this back in the day, but like let's say you hop into multiplayer and you're level 55, 8th prestige. They could go over your profile and then they could see, oh, he's also such and such in zombies, and he's such and such in Warzone. Like it would be cool to like
do that in BO3. That's exactly what you're describing as BO3.
Okay. Because I would love to be able to go online and be like, this dude's a grinder. Like he's a level 1000. I mean, I would like the prestige system. I actually didn't write that down, but that's a spoiler alert. I did not. I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyway, moving on. I would love to just see like your player card be your whole thing,
your whole plethora of what you've accomplished. Yeah, that was BO3, and that was another
everything's
reason
BO3.
It's just the best, bro. Like for sure. Like you would click on somebody's player card in that, and you could see their time played in campaign and all the stats. You could see it for multiplayer. You could also see it for zombies. You could see like their highest round on each map, how many like gobblegums they've used, their best, like all of these really detailed stats. Like even BO2 did that for zombies. Like you could see rounds survived on a map, doors open, revives, etc. But just being able to see all of that at once would be a good thing to like you know that you're grinding for that, and people would be looking at that, and you could show it off. That is a really great point.
I think that would be awesome. And again, it's just one of those features that kind of like just went away, and
Yeah, it's just gone for no real discernible reason.
No
It's
real
like,
reason.
God, but it was so good. It just the zombie skill rating for me is like having shotguns was like the equivalent to having like recon armor in Halo.
Yeah.
And it's like people knew that you were a gamer. It's like that's sick. Like I don't know. That was another one for me that I
That's
feel
a
really
great one.
strongly about.
I like that. I like that. And I would almost, like I said, I would piggyback off that and say showcasing ranks everywhere. You know, ranking in zombies, but also seeing your player card, seeing your when you flip over a baseball card, you see the home runs, you see the RBIs, you see like it'd be cool to just see your whole thing. So
Yeah.
okay, I kind of leaked that it wasn't prestige, my last one. But now that I think about it, I almost want to add that because boy, oh boy,
I,
would
I have a bonus one too, just in case we
Okay.
did have some
Okay,
crossover.
so
But I'll let you go ahead.
let me go to my last one, then we'll maybe do a bonus one because I feel like why not? My last one is for creators like ourselves. I really, really would like to see theater mode come back.
That was mine too.
Okay, okay.
I figured. But yeah.
You know, I didn't have a fifth one for a while, and then I was like, just kind of like looking around. I was typing in Call of Duty, you know, things that Call of Duty needs to bring back on Google, and I was kind of like reading some stuff, and I'm like, the number one was theater mode, and I was like, you know what? That was pretty awesome. Like I don't know why I kind of it hasn't been in a COD in so long. I kind of forgot about. I didn't forget
BO4
about it.
was the last one to have theater mode.
Yeah, it's like I didn't forget about it because obviously I it's on my list, but it's like I don't know. It just was such an awesome thing to be able to go back. And back then, you didn't have like, you know, I can record my gameplay at any time now. I feel like it was harder to do that back then. So being able to load into a game was kind of legendary, and seeing like the tomahawk you threw across the map, you like bounces off the wall and this and that, and like the instant replay. So I mean, I guess even if you are recording your gameplay, you're still missing that second, third, fourth angle of the gameplay. Because I mean, how cool would that be?
Sick play, you would like in theater mode. I'm sure you did this too. Everybody did this. Like you made us, you got a cross map tomahawk on somebody. You would go to the enemy's perspective to see, you know, like,
and then the third person perspective where it was like bouncing, you know, bouncing around, and you saw. So I think for me just to see that again would be awesome. I know everybody's asked for it every year, and they've always kind of just avoided the question. I feel like until the day the game comes out, and they're like, yeah, we didn't bring back theater mode this year. So
I think I've gotten answers on why they haven't done theater mode.
Too much work?
No, not necessarily. I think let me just say real quick. Let me back up real quick. I think number one, I totally agree. Theater mode was on like top of my list. For creators like us especially, but even just for people to use in general, that I think it can be a very useful tool for a lot of things. But for creators and the ability to do unique things in your content would be like unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought. I was just going to say theater mode would be I'm sorry. The reason why they haven't done it, from my understanding, I've asked around devs a little bit. It seems like theater mode is it gives like too much backend access to the game. It's a bit of like a security issue, I guess.
Really?
Or especially given now, with the cheating epidemic, like literally in any capacity of the game, people are getting better at like getting into the back end. But my reasoning was not that it was too much work to do. It's just that like it can be dangerous to the security of the game.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. Which sucks. If they were able to like figure that out somehow and have a solution, that'd be great. I would love to see it back, but I guess it was like an issue.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I have to admit something live on this podcast. Back in the day on Black Ops 1, I believe you could join these random modded theater modes. Did you ever do that?
No? Like modded lobbies were like, yeah.
There was like modded lobbies you could join off a theater mode, off like a community one that you could go and save to your console, and then you would play the video, go into a match, get a kill, get a million XP, back out, be able to prestige, and go back in.
Yeah.
So
you could abuse Prestige Master like through theater mode and stuff like that.
Did I do it a couple times?
issues.
Sure, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make me on Call of Duty's Most Wanted? Maybe it does. I mean, I know I was young. It was 2010. I was figuring out, who didn't hack in a video game once? Not hack. I'm talking GTA type the cheat codes.
A little exploit.
Yeah, listen,
yeah.
I'm not talking about hacking nowadays. That is wrong.
It wasn't
I've
like
never done
hack's
that.
a malicious hack. It was just,
Yeah.
I get diamond camo right away or something.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So before somebody clips that and puts me in a Charlie Intel tweet or something, let's
you don't want to end up there.
Just for like personal use, not Anyway, we might want to cut that. No,
it has a whole it's just got a whole plethora of use cases for creators, for just normal Call of Duty players alike. I get why they removed it. I think it's unfortunate, and I don't know if the reason they gave me is the whole truth. I get that it can be a bit of a security issue, but I think that if they really, really wanted to make a way, I'm sure they could find somehow to do it. I think it's a feature that pays off dividends to their game because people will continue to make content about it forever. And that kind of leads into my bonus one that I can get into if you want.
Yeah, I want to do a bonus each because we're at 50. I want to get this to an hour. So let's do bonus.
So it leads perfectly into my bonus one because the whole point of theater mode was community driven content. This is what drives replayability to their game. This is why BO3 is still one of the best sellers. And my bonus one is mod tools, especially as a zombie player.
I'm actually surprised you didn't put that on your list.
It was on my list, but I actually ended up changing because my bonus one was the zombie skill rank because I thought of that later. Mod tools is actually on my main list, but I ended up switching them.
Okay.
But for community-driven tools to be able, the ability to make custom maps, saved BO3. Not that BO3 was not dead or anything, but that's what carried it to be still culturally relevant a decade later.
Literally.
And so the only zombie games to have mod support were World at War and BO3. And you can use some tools for BO1 and BO2. It's a lot harder to make a custom map on those games, but still doable. But World at War and BO3 were carried after the fact by people making custom maps for everybody to enjoy. And that was a godsend for zombie players. That's what literally kept the game alive. Now, I get BO3 has a whole security issue. It was very unsafe to play, and still kind of is.
Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit, though, baby.
I get them releasing mod tools was maybe a backdoor into the really terrible things that people can do on BO3 now. But I don't, for that reason, sadly, just like Emblem Editor, I don't think we're gonna ever see it again because I just think it's too much of a security issue.
Yeah.
At this point, unless it's a cat and mouse game, if they could figure out a way to tighten up their systems, maybe that would be different. But I just don't think we're gonna see it because too much of a risk at this point.
So why do you think things I don't know the answer to this at all, but why do you think Fortnite has all these things where you can make your own game inside of it? I know it's a different engine and stuff like that, but can't they figure out a way to
security issues that we were asking?
Why isn't there issues over there? Maybe there is, and we just don't. I'm not in it enough to know.
Yeah, same. It's a good question, and I'm definitely not qualified to answer it from a technical level, but I would just assume that, given the access to tools that they gave with BO3, that probably allows too much access into the actual backend system of the game. I don't know the technical reason for it, but I'm sure they probably have something separate going on with Fortnite where it's you have all these tools, but it's very much cut off from what we're doing. I would assume. I don't know, but it's a good question, and I would love to have a real answer on that too, because I mean, if we're following history, this next game should be the one we get mod tools. World at War to BO3 is the same jump from BO3 now to what will be Gulf War or whatever this year. And if history is going to repeat itself, this would be the game to get mod tools again.
What I'm seeing from Gulf War, all the leaks I'm seeing are a lot of the stuff that we want back is coming back. So I don't know how legitimate the leaks are, but I've not seen I haven't seen very many negative statements on that game from what I've seen. So
Mhm.
The
Shaping up.
It's
It sounds
shaping
like.
up. I mean, it's Treyarch, man. Even Cold War, although it's not my favorite game, BO4 not my favorite game, I will take that game any day over some of the things we've gotten recently. So,
Sure.
and then
Well,
I
hear
mean,
you on that.
I'll sneak my honorable mention, and I literally thought about it while we were live. So, I think prestiging, man. I think the classic prestige system, the 10th prestige or 15th, whatever we want to go to now, 20, probably because people have no lives and don't touch grass. But
Mhm.
I just, again, it kind of goes back to the camos. I know what number I need to shoot for. I know what I'm doing. I get to level 55, I can prestige. It's not get to a level 1,000 and sit there and literally look like, wow, this guy legitimately has no life. He's level 1,000. It just doesn't look. It looks worse to me. A level 1,000 versus like
A
10th
prestige
prestige
master.
level 55 just looks so clean to me. So,
So my question is, why do you think I have my own hypothesis, but why do you think they've gone away from the prestige model and gone for this like seasonal
probably
rank
I would guess the same reason, like to keep you on the game.
to keep you on the
Like
game longer, player
keep you on the
retention?
game. You see level. You don't have a stopping like a cap. It doesn't say like level 55. You're done there. You have to prestige. I don't want to prestige. Okay, I'm level 55. I don't really have anywhere else to go now.
Which game did it to where like you can prestige but you don't lose your stuff?
I feel like it
Was
might
it
have.
BO4?
I was gonna say it was one of the not newer, but like it definitely was one of like the 20 over after 15 type of vibe.
It may have been like IW or BO4 or something, but I recall there was a game where it had the prestige system, but like you would prestige and not lose all your stuff, and
Yeah,
they wanted to make it so that it was not like a devastating setback.
I liked the
And
devastating setback though. It made it fun to keep playing the game. It was like, okay, I'm using
Mhm.
again, it's variety in multiplayer. Why did we like it? Because guess what? You didn't get on and use the MSMC every single game you played.
I
I
didn't think
remember
about that. That's a good point.
I played BO2. I remember using almost every single gun in BO2 because I'm like, I
Yeah.
prestige. I don't have this
At some
gun.
point, you kind of had to.
You had
Yeah.
to Scorpion, PDW, MSMC, the Vector. Like I couldn't tell you half the guns in Modern Warfare 3 for SMGs because I use the Rival 9 because it's the best SMG or for the ranked play. It's like there's just no variety. There's not that
I wonder if the
variety.
problem is they're scared of people being like, "Oh, if they prestige and get all their stuff reset, they will be too discouraged to like play against people that have all their attachments or
Then
whatever." And
loosen the
it's like, dude,
skill-based matchmaking, buddy.
yeah, or get good.
No, it's like, but
I don't know.
that's because
That was part of the thing. Like, yeah,
that's skill-based. That's a problem with skill-based. You can't use a PDW against an MSMC. So it's like that was the variety thing. That was the lobby leaderboard thing. It all ties into this like making multiplayer. People like Warzone now because it's a different story every single time. But multiplayer used to be like that. It used to
yeah.
be a new story every game. An S&D match was different people. You'd have the split screen people, you'd have the sweat, you'd have the 10th prestige, you have the guy trying hard, you have the guy with RPGs doing something stupid.
That's
Like
so true. Whatever happened to split screeners?
what was the last one? Was it BO2 probably? I think it was no, it might have been. Was it AW? Did AW have split screen?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
So they kept it pretty. I mean, it was there for BO3 didn't have it. No, BO3 might have had it too. Online.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what happened to split screeners, man?
Man, I
Rip.
know. I just remember if I saw a split screener, I said, "We are about to have some
You know,
fun,
we're
man.
about to go crazy.
we are about to have fun." But yeah, I it
That's
just
a good one, man.
it frustrates me because I love multiplayer still, but I played it the other day and I'm like, it's like fun for an hour now because it's just like I'm sweating so hard. I'm using the same weapon so I don't get destroyed. And that just goes back to the skill-based argument. And it's one of those things where I don't think the people that are arguing for skill-based, they don't understand because they don't get those lobbies. They don't get the lobbies with everybody being a 2.0 KD. It's a different, you don't understand it. You don't, when you're playing against the pros, it's always like the basketball argument, NBA argument. It's like, why didn't he just play defense on that guy? It's like, dude, that's an NBA guy shooting a three. He does nothing but shoot the basketball all day. Like, you can put the best defender on him, he's still going to make tough shots because he's just good. And it's like the people that are not playing as much, they don't realize these people that are in the lobbies of sweats.
I think we should have a whole
I got it.
Skill-based
Absolutely.
We'll do that soon.
We might do that soon. We'll talk offline, but we do have a pretty cool announcement. I'll just say it real quick. We are going to be doing a live podcast in Boston at the facility June 15th. So if you have a topic that you'd like us to cover, I have a couple ideas for that one because I want kind of get the crowd involved a little bit. But if you have some ideas that we wanted to talk about while we're live, that would be definitely comment below. And there's a lot more people commenting than I thought. The questions we're asking are near the end of the episode, and people are commenting, so they are staying.
Oh, real ones, man.
You all are staying till the end of the episode, so I really appreciate that. And we had our first 1,000 viewed episode. Shout out to you guys on YouTube. I'm trying to think of anything else.
We would love to get you all involved, and like, yeah, for the in-person episode, that is going to be. I want to save like a really, really good topic for that one. That would be good. But yeah, I definitely want to do an episode on skill-based matchmaking because I have a lot to say on the topic too, as I'm sure you do as well.
That might be that might be our first 3-hour podcast.
That will definitely go over the limit of what we've done so far, but that's good as far as I'm concerned. But
yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think this was a good discussion too. I kind of figured we would have at least one or two that would cross over, and I think that was fine. I think your choices were excellent for that.
I think so too. I think with our 8-ish, 9-ish things, we've officially saved Call of Duty, folks.
We've saved Call of Duty, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. And you can put the check on my desk. Thank you.
I think that's it for this episode. I was trying to think. I had something else I wanted to say. Dang it. Anything you want to say while I'm trying to think of what I'm actually trying to say?
Well, so we've got the podcast now on Spotify and Apple, depending on where you want to watch. I think we have video here. I don't know if you can watch a video on Spotify.
Yes,
if you're
video on Spotify,
audio or video style listener. But you can check it out on whichever platform you like. But we really do appreciate all the love that y'all have showed on YouTube. I think it's completely blown our expectations out of the water.
Yes,
genuinely insane to see. And yeah, I think we have a very consistent schedule coming up. And so if you guys are looking forward to more content, make sure you're sticking around because there will be plenty more.
That's a great plug. Side missions on Wednesday. I do like the schedule we're at. A Sunday upload of the main pod. I was a little nervous to do it on Sunday, guys, but you guys have the number 1 episode was released on a Sunday, and it's already number 1, and it's just turned Wednesday. So it kind of gives you guys the week to listen to it. So that's the strategy I'm taking with that. Midweek kind of gives you a little pick me up. And then by Sunday you got another one. So so side missions is what we're calling it. I cannot remember what I was going to say, but at this point, we'll do it. Hey, come back to the next episode and you'll hear what I had to say.
See what it was.
If you can, leave a like. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, leave a review. We're at 45 reviews on Spotify. I think we're at like 8 or 9 on Apple. So Apple people, wake up. Spotify people, thank you.
It's completely free. It takes a second of your time. It helps us out tremendously.
Yes.
We're just doing this podcast because we absolutely love it. Like, it's so much fun.
Yes.
And y'all being just as excited for us to do this is like really inspiring. So thank you guys once again.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Chop, that is episode 4. We've made it to episode 4. Feels good. Completed it. That is it for me. I guess one more thing. In the comments, let us know the feature you'd like to bring back, because you can actually comment in Spotify and stuff like that too. So we'll make that the question of the week. So comment your feature that can save Call of Duty, and then we'll save Call of Duty together. Chop,
that's it, baby.
It's been fun. We'll see you in the next episode on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. See you later, chat. Bye-bye.